Hello everyone. Welcome. Hi, it's Jon Binnie, and I'm your spiritual psychic mentor here in Scotland. And I'm here today to channel messages from my spirit guides from around the universe, from Mother Gaia, the spirit of planet Earth, from the sun, the moon, and archangels, and a whole wide range of beings to support you on predictions coming up in the next 3 months, and then also answering your questions. So thank you so much for all your love and support, especially for my tree videos. This isn't a tree, but I thought I'd just give him a bit of a shake. And I'm really excited. Thank you for the request for a tree predictions video. Sorry, not tree predictions, a tree meditation video to teach you how to do it. So I'm looking forward to creating that. Just watching the UK weather to see what it's going to be like here in Scotland. We get lots of rain, so I'll be looking for the perfect time for that. So keep an eye out for that. Please do keep posting all of your questions. They're just fantastic. I answer these free of charge, both in these videos, which I do in my studio, and I also do them when I'm out and about talking with nature, trees, channeling Mother Gaia. So please do continue to post those. Just take a look in the pinned comment in this video and you can see the link of where to post your question. Okay, now as always, and this might be rare for you, right? You might not see many psychics doing this. I'm going to go ahead and create a safe space. So the safe space is really, really important. It is the foundation that underpins both the safety in what I channel in and also the messages that you then and how you receive them. So please do join me as we take a couple minutes to create the safe space. You can also repeat this practice. It's part of my free 14-day spirit guide meditations, which over 850 of you have signed up for in the last year or so. So thank you so much for those. They all start with the same practice. So please do engage with this. It's super helpful for a whole wide range of reasons in your daily life. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a deep breath in through the nose. And breathe out what no longer serves our highest good, nice and loud. Breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any fear, shame, anxiety, or pain, nice and loud. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any remaining low vibration energy or emotion that no longer serves you, nice and loud. And continue to breathe calmly as it feels right for you. Now focus your attention now on the very center of your heart, where the golden light, the golden spark of your soul enters your human form. And from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light upwards through the top of your head, up into the sky and up into the stars, up into space, all the way up through the highest frequencies and dimensions of this universe, until you reach the highest dimension of the source of love of this universe. And there, connecting your light cord into the highest dimension of source. Remain connected into source, feeling that oneness, unity, and unconditional love, that feeling of home. And extend your light cord down to the stars and sky, back down to the top of your head, and into your heart once more. Allow your heart to gently soften and open as you extend the light cord down now from the center of your heart, down through the base of your spine, and deep into the earth. Keep going down all the way down through the layers of the planet, going deeper and deeper until you reach the very core of Mother Earth. And there, connecting your light cord into Mother Gaia's crystalline heart. And we send Mother Gaia so much love at this time. Allow her to send her love back. Remain connected into Gaia's heart and extend your light cord back up through the layers of the planet, up through the root of your spine and into your heart once more. And now, together with light of source above and Mother Gaia below, expand out that golden light from the center of your heart to surround you about 2 meters out to each side, above and below, in front and behind you. And set the intention that only energies and entities with your permission, with your highest good love and compassion, can see you, access you, or exist within your bubble or within you. All other energies and entities must leave immediately. Into your protected space, invite in your spirit guides, your higher self, your ancestors, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source, and Gaia. And now, through space and time, I create a golden protected bubble around all of us watching this video, wherever we are in the world, across space and time. And I set the intention that only energies and entities, with my permission and the highest good love and compassion of all, can see us, access us, or exist within this space or within us. All other energies and entities must leave immediately. Inviting in my spirit guides, my higher self, my ancestors, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, the sun, Sol, the moon, Luna, and also members of my spirit team who are also members of the Galactic Federation and other councils of light around this universe. And we'd like to set the intention today to support the answering of your questions that you've posted, as well as direct messages channeled from the very spirit of Earth, Mother Gaia, and those beautiful souls that I've explicitly named and invited in. Thank you. And let us begin. And first, I'm going to drink some water. Okay. So let me go ahead and, just as I was creating that safe space, and thank you so much for your patience in creating the safe space. Do you feel safe? I do this because I'm a professional. This is my day job, and my energy and your energy is our currency. It is our health. It is our vitality. And just as we wouldn't allow unwanted beings into our home, it's the same with our energy, with our bodies, our consciousness. So let's be really clear when we work with such important subjects, such as answering your questions and channeling from other, especially higher vibration beings, that we're really clear about our intention. And perhaps if you're watching other people that do this work, maybe you'd like to suggest to them to share their own practices for creating safe spaces, because I feel that we all have an opportunity to lead by example. Okay, so let us begin. First of all, Mother Gaia has been coming through with a message, and I have no idea what the message is, but she said she wants to step into me to channel through me, so I'm going to invite her now. Hello and welcome, beautiful souls of Earth, my children, the children of Earth. You are all beautiful beings around this whole planet, and I love you all. Just as a parent to a child, it does not matter what you do, I will always love you. I may not always agree with every human across this planet, but know that I love you all equally. No matter what happens over the coming days, weeks, months, years, decades, I will always love you. And I'm always here providing you with a home and a way to connect with the very nature of you by connecting in with my body, with the earth. You can feel these great changes across the planet. There are so many changes at this time that go beyond, well beyond your current belief systems, your concepts, your religions. These changes are energetic, psychic, metaphysical. These changes apply to not just this third dimensional earth, also my fourth and fifth dimensional and upwards versions of me. There are great transitions happening. There is a great release of purging that you've witnessed, including the recent earthquakes that have affected Russia and many other regions. Know that this journey is for your highest good. And just as a parent says to a child, I'm doing this because I love you, I want you to feel this in your heart, that I'm always doing my very best to support every single one of you. Individually, you can always ask me for help. Just place your bare feet on the ground, or your hands on a tree, or your hands deep into the earth, or touch a stone, or even a plant, and call my name, Gaia. Gaia, please ask me. Please ask for my name out loud and ask for help. Sometimes you will ask me for when the next change will affect you and your loved ones. You can ask this question and I will answer. I will give you signs in your dreams, signs in the weather, in the feeling and vibration of the area around you. And in particular, please pay attention to the earth beneath you. These great changes, the purging continues. Yes, it comes and goes in waves. The releasing of anger and rage from deep within the earth, bubbling up to the surface, released as volcanoes, as earthquakes, as weather events, and more. Know that I'll always do my best to warn you. And please rely on your direct connection with me more than you would trust the connection with any other. This includes Jon and many others like him that are sharing my messages directly, because it is your relationship, it is your connection with the earth that is the most important thing. This is not an evolution, a revolution of the earth that requires a few to communicate to the many. Instead, this revolution is to allow the many to take the lead. As you continue to break through these constrictive paradigms of governments, systems of control, organizations and institutions, some of which you're not even aware of, that are underground, so to speak, both physically and metaphysically. All of this needs to change because we need to return as humans back to our hearts. I invite you now, all of you, to take a moment to re-commune with me and reconnect with me. And if you choose to do so, please imagine from the center of your heart, just as Jon showed you earlier, this beautiful golden light from the center of your heart gifted to you as you are parts of the source of love of this universe. And extend a light cord all the way down through the roots of your spine, and then down through your feet. And also directly from your spine and directly from your feet, reach down deep into the ground, extending roots all the way down through the layers of the planet until you touch, imagining your toes touching the very upper mantle. And allow that feeling, that spark, that fire to burn away anything that no longer serves your highest good. And for your heart connection to continue down from the roots of your spine all the way into the heart, directly into the heart of me, Mother Gaia. I'm here for you. I love you. I'm here to support you, to nurture you. Just as we never give up on our own children, I will never give up on you. And I'm calling you back home, back to my heart. Reconnect with the earth, reconnect with your garden, your yards, your streets, your plants and wildlife, the wild aspects of the earth, the wild, in the nature reserves and areas you put aside that you protect. Return to these areas as often as you can, in your mind, in your thoughts, in your heart. And remember, even in your concrete jungles that you create, these are simply layers between Mother Gaia and yourself. You can always extend your heart connection through these, because deep beneath the earth, I am always here, always with you. Please continue to connect with me. Follow your heart, follow your judgment. These are exciting times as well as great times of great change. Please keep out of your fear. Face those fears and join me, brave soul, as we continue to navigate the purging, the burning away of what no longer serves us, justice and truths revealed, the rage and anger released, and new structures forming, patterns where we, as a human race and Gaia, come together as one, communities, tribes, clans, all of us individually leading the way in unity. I love you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Gaia. I must admit, was it like 7 minutes into the video or something, and now it's 16 minutes? So yeah, something happened during that time. I do feel quite conscious during that channeling, and I found it really, my mind, I feel just, I take a back seat, right? Allow Gaia to drive for a little while. And that's why safety is so important. And then when I step back into the driver's seat, I can hear everything she's saying through my voice. And I found it really fascinating, is especially towards the end, she was interchangeably, it sounded like she was part of us, that Mother Nature's part of the human race. And she was talking about we, the human race. And I feel there's something so beautiful about that, we would never if Gaia was human, and it was very public, because she is public, right? That the Mother Earth is so public to us all, that we would never tolerate this punishment that we inflict on one being, right? Day in, day out, with all our pollution and destruction. And so I feel that unity really touches my heart and soul. So thank you, Mother Gaia. Sorry, I'm trying not to just burst into a flood of tears. Okay, some more water. So there is one question that you're asking me. You're asking me a lot about 3i Atlas, and now SWAN, which is C/2025 R2 SWAN. And Gaia was sharing just during the safe space setup some of the messages around these. And please do watch a previous video about 3i Atlas. I still feel very aligned with what was shared in that. And it's still a really popular video. So lots of you are still watching it. I feel that we didn't hear much about the kind of present and the future of what's going on with 3i Atlas, and now other objects, including C25R2 SWAN. So what I'll do is I'll just ask, I won't this time ask Gaia to come into me, I'll just ask her more conversationally and ask her just to share a bit more, because she was starting to share some really interesting facts. So Gaia, can you please answer the question about these other objects also, and any further updates on 3i Atlas? She's currently showing me visuals of the I was going to say orbits, right? It's not really true for 3i Atlas in particular. It behaves like a ship, right? It navigates and shows all the signs, of its producing its own light, and its behavior is nothing like any other object that we've experienced. This is news to me. She's saying, Mother Gaia says that she invited in Three-Eye Atlas. And I feel that, some of what's lost so much in our science is a lack of awareness of the consciousness of the earth, of the sun, of the moon. And, what would you do if you were a soul that was struggling, and in this case, Mother Gaia struggling? You would ask for help, right? You would ask others that you know. And I know from a lot of my previous work, well, it's not just previous, it's current work, especially that I'm doing with clients, doing quantum psychic healing sessions and past life healings and future life healings and astral travel, and meeting just thousands of clients' guides from around the universe, is that Gaia is very aware, at very least, of all of the stars and their planets that we see in our night sky. So they're her friends, her neighbors, right? Yes, there's the solar system, and then there's all the others as well that she sees and perceives. And so it's also not a coincidence that many of us, that term starseed, which can describe people that have incarnated from previous planets and star systems, that actually many of us come from these different constellations that we see in our night skies, but also we've had lifetimes before that from across the universe. And we almost use these, we do use these more local star systems, Sirius, Orion, Arcturus, even Andromeda, right, which is a galaxy. Like, there's all these different stepping stones that bring you closer as a soul. When you incarnate through these different lifetimes, you get closer to the vibration of Earth. And this is one way that Gaia has been calling, as in she's been calling our souls. She's been broadcasting out saying, please help. I want to help save myself, help save every living thing, or as many as I can on the planet. And we're ascending at the same time. And as part of the ascension, we're going through a purging of what doesn't serve us. Please, souls, come in and help. So if you're wondering why you might feel that you've been called here for a mission, and that's one of the most popular subjects in my client sessions, and hundreds and hundreds of client sessions in the last year and a half since I've been doing this professionally, is that the number one thing you ask me for is, what is my life purpose? And I ask your spirit guides, I ask your soul, I ask the archangels that I work with, and we get like a good answer on why your soul has chosen to come here. And so many of you have chosen to come here and help, all in our own unique ways, all with our own unique superpowers. So all this to explain that ask for help goes beyond just humans being, souls being incarnated as humans here and helping. It also extends to ships and other objects. And so Gaia is saying that she invited in Three-Eye Atlas into this area. It wasn't random that Three-Eye Atlas was just wandering through space and time and happened to come here. And then for C20/25 R2 SWAN, this is, she's saying to me that this is much more of a first of all, it's a huge object, like much, much bigger, hundreds of times bigger and brighter than Three-Eye Atlas. And so this, she's saying that this is much more of a cleansing object. So it's actually here. Imagine, I don't actually have any sage. I don't really use sage, but you can, right? And you just imagine, someone trying to clear the energy around them. She says she's bringing in C25 R2 SWAN into the area to help cleanse the area, to cleanse the solar system. and that she's been working with the sun to invite in this object. Now, she's saying that this object also has its own sentience, right? Its own consciousness and its own decisions to make. And she is saying that there's interaction with the sun, with Sol. So let me ask the sun, let me ask Sol if there's any. Oh, Sol, hello Sol, as soon as I connect with Sol, I love it when in the comments some of you call Sol like grandpa sun, grandpa Sol. Just showing me that, yeah, there are interactions, and it seems that there's this charging. The sun is helping charge C25 R2 SWAN. And so I'm being shown what will happen in the next 2 months is that some quite spectacular events of the sun charging C25 R2 SWAN is like this. We may actually be able to measure some of this with our relatively basic science. The heart of the sun is opening, and we might observe almost like Schumann resonance like measurements, energies coming out from the sun's heart and helping supercharge C2025 R2 SWAN. And that's really beautiful, right? Because it seems that it's a bit like when we, if we're going to use a crystal, like my labradorite here, I only have 4 crystals. Please do not send me any crystals. 4 is enough for me. Just like 4 guitars. So when we work with something, with an object, we often supercharge it. And this is what the sun's doing is I'm just holding the crystal against my heart, supercharging the energy of it to help it on its mission of clearing the energy around the solar system. And then as it gets closer to Earth, and it seems that 3 Atlas is also helping prepare the way, is the final destruction. Woohoo! Oh, hang on. Let me try this. The final destruction of this dark web that exists around planet Earth. Isn't that amazing news? I never would have put all these things together. So that is wonderful. And I know some of us have a view, this is how I used to think of the solar system, that is a kind of bunch of rocks, right, that are planets and their moons, and they're just all kind of spinning around each other, kind of randomly, just, that's how physics and stuff just happens. And then when something intelligent comes into that space, you're thinking, who's going to do what? Is it are we the only intelligent ones in the solar system? No, we're not. And so know that all of even the asteroid belt, everything that exists within our solar system, everything's alive. Every rock, every planet, every moon, even the gas and dust that that flows between planets and stars. And it's more than just being conscious and in isolation. There are what I'd call galactic ley lines that flow between the hearts of each of the planets. So I've spoken about this quite a lot in my videos about the connection between the Earth, I'm the Earth, and the Sun, I'm the Sun, and there's connection, almost like an umbilical cord between them. So this exists across all of the family of our solar system. They have heart-to-heart connections. Just as planet Earth has these grids, the ley lines, which are the energy lines, the interconnectedness of the chakras of the Earth, all these ways, just like we have veins and nervous systems and meridians and chakras in our bodies, both physical and metaphysical, so do the planets and our sun and the moons and everything that exists in our solar system, and of course beyond. But this is just to help bring your awareness that we're not alone in these observations of these objects entering the solar system, and we're not alone in the decisions and the actions that are being taken. So I hope this helps you at least get some sense of, safety in many respects, is that, we're absolutely being cared for. And this is without even asking our galactic extraterrestrial friends who are already playing a big part. Let's get some water. Okay, so I just want to, before I go into your questions and answers, let's also ask my galactic guides. So these are, to be honest, all my guides have origins from across the universe. I'm just seeing if they have any messages for us over the next 3 months. So my mantis guide, Marita, a few of my guys wanted to talk, but she's kind of pushed forwards first. She's a galactic mantis. And she's saying, just like Jon was talking about, or Gaia was talking about, the connection with the earth, please also form your own relationships with interstellar objects. She says, Marita says that this is important because it's a bit like, if you read a news article, imagine someone made a YouTube video about one of your close friends or loved ones. You'd be like, well, I probably want to watch it, right? I might even tell my loved one, my friend or family, like, hey, someone's made a YouTube video about you. And then I would watch it and I'd feel into, well, how real is that for me? What are the truths in here? What lines up with my truths, and what do I accept? What do I say? That doesn't seem quite right. I'm not so sure. I'll give that some thought. And what do I reject? And she said, this will help you discern more. Ask your heart, how do these objects feel to you? Because there's a lot of fear, and I get it, right? And in some respects, it's also why these videos I create are proving more popular, is because some people are getting really excited, but also some people are experiencing like a fear-like addiction to these objects. Now, they are fascinating, right? And they are exciting, and they are magical discoveries to explore. And Marita says, so please, follow your own heart. Don't just take people's words or videos for being the truths or even the scientific data, right? Because science is a very limited view. It might be, science is meant to be repeatable, right? And that's where science completely falls down, is because magic by its very nature is often not repeatable. It's kind of the point, right? It's like this beautiful one-off, like you are completely unique. There's no other being in the world ever in the universe like you. There's nothing exact like you. Even if they cloned your body, it would never be the same consciousness and never be the same soul. So this is an important aspect. Form these relationships with the feeling of these. By all means, do some online research, watch videos, and throughout that journey, feel in your heart. Don't just take things verbatim, but please connect with them. And perhaps you'll also look to the night sky. Maybe, just like I've been doing recently, just before you go to sleep at night, create a safe space around you like we did at the start of the video, and then ask your spirit guides. So I just place, like I did last night, place my hand on my heart and say, spirit guides, please take me on a tour of 3i Atlas in my dream time. And then you can also ask to remember it in the morning. And if you're wondering what my tour was like last night, I was really shown a lot more detail of the ship of 3i Atlas. And I'd love to go into more detail. Either you guys will be asking me, or I'll do it in upcoming videos. And I just describe it as as I've shared before, it is a ship that's not fully utilized, but it is giant, and that it has capability. It reminds me a little bit of like a Noah's Ark type feeling, that beings can survive on there for, if their home planet disappears, like entire races can continue to survive. And the ship is vast, but also has all of the support and amenities and energies that really help. And it's not just one race, right? And I've said in previous videos, also humans are there. So like you and me. So that's really exciting. So that's advice from Marita, and of course it extends to any of the interstellar objects. Okay. I asked if there was anything else, and she says, no, let's get on with question and answers. Okay, so, and I just want to give a shout out to, your name is, or your YouTube name is Stephen, is it Hay? Haigh 2890, because you've been asking some questions regarding, you said, what information can you gather about the energy regarding C/2025 R2 SWAN. It's 100 times larger and brighter than 3i Atlas, and discovered just a few days ago, streaking towards the sun with a colossal plasma tail 5 moons wide. And I did say that's fascinating, 5 moons wide, because not that the Galactic Federation ship Athena is 5 moons wide, but when I saw her in the night sky physically around 2021, that's how I describe. I wasn't sure what distance she was at from me, so she was definitely this side of the moon. Just maybe a few miles up in our sky, and that she was 5 moons in length. That's how I described her. And unlike any natural comet, it carries a nickel cobalt armored hull and a plasma drive exhaust, and a core radiating more power than 2 colliding black holes. Wow, that's a galactic sage stick, right? Incredible. So that makes a lot of sense. I didn't realize it was heading towards the sun. I have had your comment up, so your question up, but I've not read the whole thing yet. So thank you for that. And we'll mark that as answered. So I hope that helps. So let's go ahead and answer some more questions from you guys. I'll make some beep bop noises as I do it. Beep bop, beep bop, beep bop, beep. Okay. This is from Susan in STEM. Hello, thank you for your question. STEM, STEM. It says, regarding the origins of the moon, scientists have learned that the moon's composition is very, very similar to Earth, oxygen isotope levels. I'd be curious what Gaia and Luna say about these similarities. Thanks for sharing your gift with us and teaching us about our own. Okay, so let's ask. Oh, that's really beautiful. So Gaia is saying, she's saying she's still on, this explanation of the moon being a ship and making its way and entering the solar system. There's this really lovely, and her orbit, and there's this really lovely, I'm sure I said this in a previous video, or Gaia said it in a previous video, which was that Gaia really adopted Luna, the moon. And she's saying me this wrapping of, so the composition of what exists around the outside of the moon, it's true, is similar to Earth. And Gaia says, that's because I wrap her in like my own skin, like I wrap her in the same materials that I have here on Earth. And it's not that Gaia grew some arms and took bits of her kind of skin off and patched it all over the moon. It's more that as the interactions with the moon and Earth, and then also there has been some sharing of materials. So this is over a very long time period. It includes guys saying, yes, there have been very large asteroid impacts on Earth, and that some of these have caused the ejection, just like we actually receive a lot on Earth through this process. There must be a scientific description of it, but she's showing me when huge cataclysmic asteroids have hit Earth, that same debris that then comes off the Earth has then entered the gravitational pull of the moon and formed this outer skin. But the outer skin of the moon is very skin deep. So the moon isn't made of the same materials as the Earth. So I'm sure we'll see what happens in time. I'm sure more of the truth will be revealed. And so excited for, especially this dark matrix, dark web around the outside of the planet to be removed. Thank you for your question. Let's do another. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Okay. This is from MJ Cronkite. Hi, John. Hello. We are flying to Curaçao on October 26th. Will there be any problems weather-related? Thank you for keeping me on track. Love from South Dakota. Okay, let me ask my guides, including Gaia. She's taking me to... yes. So the answer is yes. I'm being shown a large... I want to use the word supercell around that time, and it's over the Atlantic, and it's coming onto the US around the 26th. Gaia says there's a 3-day window for travel, and she says, in other words, she says right now the way that's likely to play out is that the 26th may be fine, but there's a 3-day window of when it's safe to travel. And that's kind of varying because so if you don't know how our weather works, is the way Gaia has explained to me the way that our weather systems work is that actually so much of it's created by us humans, right? And this is what algorithms have known for many years, is that they will tell humans that, it's going to rain tomorrow, and then we co-create rain tomorrow, right? This is because we are constantly creating the reality around us. So that theory would mean that, well, if no one thought of some strange loud noises outside, which is really strange in a soundproof studio. I think it's something flying overhead. So quite simply, if no one, it's quite distracting, if no one read the weather forecasts, then we'd be much less likely to get these changes in the weather that we experience. So you can kind of, another way of describing the weather is that there's a weather to the emotions of humans. You could forecast the emotions of the collective of the human race. And what happens is that the weather is really like a manifestation, is an expression of the energy, the releasing of this energy. And so when we ask Gaia about the weather, what we're really asking is, Gaia, what will we generate in terms of energy? What will we manifest? And what do you need to release? And so this is like her best kind of guess or forecast or prediction, if you like. My kind of human interpretation of it, or my kind of 3D, still getting my head around, do we create the weather ourselves as humans? Putting that aside for the moment, my feeling is the 26th is fine right now, but please keep an eye on the storms in the area, especially anything forming, and especially if it's going to be larger than your average weather formation. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. So I hope that helps you. And I'd always put your safety and your loved ones first. Okay, time for a couple more questions. So choosing, it's trying to press my button for reverb. Here we go. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. And this is from Carrie Hoover 9740, and you've said, I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota area. Is there anything dramatic that might have that might have in that area of the US? Okay, just ask to all the beautiful souls I've invited into the session by name today. I'm being shown a building collapse. Oh, this is it's like an earth tremor. It seems localized. This building, to describe what I'm seeing, I know in UK standards it would be very tall, but not by US standards. Maybe 18 floors high, quite thin and tall, quite a grey looking building, maybe built around the 70s. And it's crumbling at the bottom. It seems its foundations are shaken. And there's this earth tremor. There's some consciousness behind this event. It's not widespread. When or where does this happen? It just says I'm not being given Minneapolis, I'm just being given Minnesota, which as you know, my geography is terrible. I'm learning so much more through this. And just that there's a lot of, how to describe, investigation into why this happens. And Gaia says, look, yes, she has an interest in that building being destroyed. And she and her local team of elementals do everything they can to make sure that the people, there's people finding, just like we've seen in other kind of natural disasters, people not making it to work that day. Like, it seems like a kind of office-like building. And there is some signs of some construction work that goes on there. And that's why some people are wondering if it's like some sort of gas mains burst or explosion or sinkhole. Like, it just seems really localized. It does affect some of the surrounding buildings, broken windows. There are some structural challenges, but no other collapses. So that's why it seems, to us in particular, especially as we're much more open-minded and open-hearted, we might think, oh, was that, someone that had weaponized earthquake or, earth tremor technologies, or is that Mother Gaia like focusing on a specific building? In this case, whilst all those are possible, it feels more, certainly the energy behind it, the intention behind it is from Mother Gaia. And she's describing the destruction of that building being more like and she's saying to me September 31st. Okay. She's describing it as a gateway to like unlocking, to freeing people and unlocking more truths. So that's exciting. So I hope that helps you. It doesn't feel, I was just asking you as well, it doesn't feel, Carrie, that it's in your direct neighborhood or area, if that's of any help. So thank you. Okay, let's go ahead with the next question. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. This is from Kathy 777. I love the sevens. Woohoo! Hi, Jon. Thank you for all you do. I would like to ask if there will be an earthquake in Oklahoma City area. Thank you. Wow. I don't know why I feel compelled to say this. It seems a strange thing to say, but there will be at some point in the existence of the city. Let me ask more informed sources. So just extending this question out. I'm being shown so interestingly, Sol, the sun, and Mother Gaia have come forwards, and there's an interaction between the sun and Mother Gaia that causes a pulse. And it looks like, imagine a wave, like a sine wave that's going through the earth. Instead of going through water, it's like going through the earth, and it's very surface level, and it's a single pulse. There's a frequency set of this pulse. You know how different materials respond to different frequencies? This is a resonance frequency. So I'm being shown, like my understanding of this is pretty limited, other than, for example, the way that microwaves work is that they work with a resonance frequency of water to inject energy into to boil them. And so this is what it seems, that there's a pulse of energy pushed through Oklahoma City, and it's targeted at, and being shown, it's like older forms of concrete. And what's really interesting about it is that it seems to affect, you'd call them, like here we call them pavements, but we called like sidewalks, and some of the roads, and then some of the, it's not the structure of many buildings on the inside, which are often like, it's not the steel structures, it's more like the outside. I keep hearing the word cladding. So it's a very kind of dramatic looking event that happens. Where does this come from? Why are the sun and the earth involved? It's like this kind of, this like shaking off energy. And I'm hearing that there's energy. The reason that the sun and the earth are both involved in this is because it's quite a specific, there's something about the stones and the materials used in the concrete and the cement, the concrete in Oklahoma City. This goes back many years, back to its first kind of early days after settlement, is that a lot of this older building material needs to be shed. So it needs to be purged and released because it's storing a lot of negative energy. And so really help the inhabitants. Let me ask about the time frame. October 17th. And Gaia says, John, it's October the 17th. There are some reasons that may change. And this is because it's a decision point by the sun and Gaia, by Sol and Gaia. Let me ask, why? What's your decision point? It says when the people are ready, when there's enough going on in the area. If there's too much, what's the word? Fear and anxiety from other sources, then that event will be delayed. And right now, there's a lot of fear and anxiety across the earth. So they're kind of, the Sol and Gaia are looking for the right window within which to do it. And, it may even be suspected by the US military. They may suspect that the city was actually targeted by a weapon. They might even go as far as to blame it on another country, and you can probably guess who those countries might be. Yet it does feel like it is a targeted, this actually coming from the sun and the earth, and they're targeting the releasing of energy. This does feel like it'll happen in other places, but Oklahoma City, there's something very specific about the properties of a lot of the concrete construction there. And for all of you in Oklahoma City, it seems the loss of life is really minimal, if any, which I find, well, mysterious and magical, like how that happens. It's something to do with the fact that it's towards the contact. It's like the parts of the buildings that are touching the ground, so it doesn't affect the whole building, and it's not strong enough to take down any one building. It just shakes off like this outer layer of this negative energy. Wow. Thank you, Kathy. 777. Okay, and let's do another quick one before we finish. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Okay, so this one is from Murph B. Thank you for your question. For Luna, I love it. It's not hi John, it's for Luna. Are there dark entities that use you as a base? If so, do they include dark Orions? Okay, let me ask. So Luna says, all of the above. She says, especially on the other side, on the dark side of Luna, dark side of the moon, she says there's a lot of, she says forward operating base. And she said there are actually bases on the visible side of the moon, but they're much harder to see our space agencies and militaries are aware of it, but they're much harder to see with telescopes, etc. They are possible to see. And it's really interesting because she's saying dark, and this term using Luna, using the moon as a base, the moon is already a giant ship, right? So it's like there are bases, but they often are also inside of Luna as well. And she says there's she described them as treaties between different extraterrestrial races about who can use the space. And there's a prerequisite as part of that treaty, which is that you have to have some of your DNA in beings upon the earth, such as the human race. And let me ask about the term dark Orions. I wouldn't, if that's a reference to low vibration, like negatively behaving beings from Orions, that may explain the term dark Orions. Let me ask. There are some, so Luna says, there are some beings of lower vibration there for sure, because there's not just like one, there's no threshold by which, you're allowed in or you're not allowed in, and there's no good or bad, dark or light. There's just a whole spectrum, just like our own spirit guides, just like you and me. As humans, there's a whole spectrum of frequency from our deepest, darkest shame to our brightest, lightest joy and light and unity. And she says that, yes, there are beings there from Orion. She says there's not many that are of a lower vibration, with lower vibration intentions. And she says it's important to understand that as a ship, one of her big responsibilities, as well as being the moon for Earth, is that she has to achieve harmony. If you ever go into I feel like if you go into a forest, it's really a really good example, which I've done a lot of videos recently of, is the darker areas in forests. They're not like cut down and burnt away and destroyed, right? They're not separated, and they don't like create like nature doesn't create a big boundary around it and stop you going in. There's much more of a balance. There's much more harmony, and that, beings of any dimension, whether they're squirrel, deer, fox, or what we'd call a cryptid or an interdimensional being, us humans, or even extraterrestrial beings, that they all have the choice of where they go in different areas of a forest. And so this is the harmony and the free will of, darkness to light and everything in between being respected. And so this is also the case within Luna, that she also seeks to have balance and harmony. Never favoring one over the other, always trying to achieve that right balance. And that balance, by the way, doesn't feel 50-50. It is more like maybe 20-80. If you were to say dark and light as two extremes, it's more like that. But remember, it's really a gradient. None of us are dark and light. Just like I wear black t-shirts to remind me of my darkness and to share my darkness. And I am often surrounded by light. I want to show that contrast, show both, all aspects of me, just like my gray and dark hair. Well, thank you so much for your questions today. Let me bring our session to an end. I'd like to thank our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, and every soul that's participated in today's session. And for each of us now, please step outside of the shared session space as I close it down. You can remain in your individual protective bubbles for as long as you choose as I close the session down and return to source, or never return here again. Please do get plenty of rest and drink as much water as it feels right for you. And please check out my other videos. You'll see somewhere appearing here in a moment, a playlist of all of my, what I call prediction videos, including forest walks. I have a link to my website somewhere here where you can book a session with me, or you can sign up for my free meditations, my 14-day spirit guide meditations. And I also have a couple of places left, literally 2, for my higher self foundational training that starts, an 8-week program that starts in October 22nd. And anything else to share. Thank you so much. And thank you for your love and support. Please do subscribe, like, share with your friends, comment, say hello, tell me where you're from, tell me what brings you the most joy in your life. And thank you so much. Continue to post your questions and I'll continue to ask for the answers. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Sending love from Scotland. Bye.